Oh, hey there. You're just in time for a new episode of the Country Minute Podcast. This week, I'm talking to Cole Swindell at Country Jam USA in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We are there in the middle of July. It was so hot, but Cole invited us on his bus to talk about his new album, Spanish Moss, picking songs, the songwriters that he works with, his vision for the future, and so much more. This was the last interview, I think, and the last show Cole had before the birth of his child, so congratulations to him on that. We talk a little bit about parenting in there as well, but we have so much coming from Country Jam USA in the weeks ahead. Thank you for your support of the Country Minute Podcast. As always, my name is James Shotwell. Our guest is Cole Swindell, and the episode starts right now. Back at Country Jam, we finally have a chance to talk to Mr. Spanish Moss himself, Cole Swindell. He's headlining day 2. Cole, how's your day going?
It's going great. Beautiful weather. It's pretty nice for summer here, man. It's a nice big crowd out there. It's going to be fun.
I want people to know that it's mid-July and you're wearing a Carhartt right now.
I know. It's we keep the bus cold all the time, so I don't really know what the weather's like ever out there. So
I love that. Now, it's been about 3 weeks since Spanish Moss came out today, I think, June 27th. Yeah, about 3 weeks. How have you been feeling? I mean, are you a guy who are you watching people react to it, or how are you take in the response?
You know, I think I put so much into it to getting it done and rolling it out that it's just kind of a relief that it's out. You know, it is kind of, I mean, obviously I'm kind of watching, and it's great to see the reaction and happy that people love that new music's out and seeing which songs they're loving and how that changes over the course of a week and all that kind of stuff. It's been really cool, but mainly just enjoying being done with it and just being able to get back on the road, play it and start playing them live and all that. So it's been nice.
I've been wondering, when it comes to a Cole Swindell record, especially one like this following such a big last release, where does it start for you? I mean, Spanish Moss, for starters, having heard the whole record, I was like, Spanish Moss is such a unique choice for the title track, so maybe does it start there, or how did this record start?
Yeah, you know, that's a great question. I think, you know, we cut a batch of songs back, a few years ago with Zach Crowell, and I love the stuff, but I had plans of going back in and recording more, obviously, and we just kind of, like we were talking about earlier, life happened. I got engaged and married and kind of put the album on the back burner for a minute, and then when we came back around, I realized the album wasn't going to finish itself. I had to get back in the writing room. That's kind of when Forever to Me came about, and then from there on we kind of just shaped it. Spanish Moss came later on in it. It just kind of the side of Spanish Moss is so special to me and takes me back to Georgia, and I just thought it was a cool title to name an album and kind of base it around that. But there was not your standard process of making this album. You know, a lot of different producers, a lot of different songwriters. It was kind of, whatever it takes to get this where it needs to be, and that's what we did.
Man, speaking of that, I wanted to ask about one you have a credit on for this record. I want to make sure I get it right, too. Georgia Ain't on Her Mind. You said Georgia, and it made me think about this. That was one of the first songs I jumped to when the album came out on streaming, because I hadn't gotten the vinyl yet, because I was just, that title grabs you.
I feel like there's several titles on there that you're like, I wonder what that
99 Problems.
Right. Dirty Dancing. I mean, there's a lot of them, but that's great, because even when some of these that I didn't write, I did write Georgia, but that one, obviously, being from Georgia, we've heard that song, Georgia on My Mind, a million times, and that's just kind of where it came from. It's just, what if Georgia ain't on her mind anymore, and that's kind of where it came from, riding down the road in the bus. We wrote that one. But, yeah, there's several more with titles. If you almost have to listen to them. I looked like 99 Problems, Dirty Dancing. When I saw those titles, I was like, I don't want to like this. And then I listened to it, and I'm like, man, I wish I'd have written it. And that's kind of my test of songs that I don't pen. Is just, if I wish I would have written them, then I'd love to record them. So,
is there a trick to picking a great song? You're a guy who's served lots of songs. How do you know? Is it like a feeling you get inside? What is it?
I've always said, just being a fan of music from as far back as I can remember. I feel like I listen to music the same way anybody out there will tonight, and I don't know. I just think you pick different songs for different reasons, and we got a lot of things to think about. I'm trying to check a box of, I want stuff that's fun to be able to play live. We take a lot of pride in our live show, but then also, I've been doing this a while. I just turned 42. I want to be able to record stuff that that means something as well. And so it's just like I said, my test is usually if I wish I'd written it, then or just something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't get over it. I mean, that's when I know I need to probably record this one. So yeah, but I'm usually writing for myself.
There's one that I want to ask about that I thought jumps out at me. It's probably my most played song on the record, Lost Heart.
Yeah.
Tell me about when you heard. Do you remember hearing this song?
Yeah.
Do you remember finding it?
Yeah, that was in the first batch we cut. That was one of the ones in the first batch that I actually didn't write. But when I listened to it, I'm like, God, I wish I would have. It sounds like something I would have written probably, and it's just I don't know, it just gets stuck in your head. And that's one to me that's it was kind of older to me by the time the album came out, but to everybody else it was new. So for you to say that, and to see other people love, my wife loves the song. There's to see a lot of things about it. It's like, well, we weren't wrong 2 years ago when we recorded it, but it was an interesting process to go from these songs we recorded to the ones we recorded, like Country Boy Can't Survive, and a few more that we recorded like the day after I wrote it, last day to record the album to finish it up. So it's thinking back, it's kind of scary. Just the last two albums, some of the biggest songs on them were recorded last, and so hey, as long as my label keeps letting me work to the last minute, we're gonna keep doing it. There's just too many good songs, too many good writers in Nashville to call it early. So
I want to ask you a question about finding sad songs. Now, I'll tell you this about her. She didn't know that I was going to tell you this. She has not actually heard Dale Jr. yet, because I sent her the chorus written out, and she was like, "No, I'm not. She's not ready yet. That's scratching too close to home." So when you're looking for songs, you're writing songs. Is it hard to know like where that line is, where it's like you're cutting too close to the bone? People are going to turn it off, right? You got to get like right up to it.
I don't know that I've ever been. I mean, You Should Be Here and Dad's Old Number. I've had a few over the years that I feel like are borderline. People either need to hear them, they turn them up, or they just can't deal with it at the moment. I'm always been the kind of person, I just turn them up. I relate to music. That's how I kind of
lean into it.
Yeah, I really do, and I think now being on the other side, being able to share stuff like that, I mean, it is. You try to make it somewhat universal, but Dale Jr. is very just a personal experience. But I just think it's unique, that song. I don't know that it's it is sad, obviously, but it's just, I thought that it was a true story, and the fact that me and Dale just kind of talked about what we bonded over, not our careers or anything. I just thought that was interesting, and to be able to put that into words.
It absolutely. I mean, there's nothing cooler than meeting somebody that you look up to, or even if they're just a peer of yours, and you have that moment where you go from like talking shop, and then you say something real, and they say something real back, and you're like,
and that's friends? Yeah, exactly. But it's just, it lets you know. I mean, I think that's why I love what I do here, is just when I can sing a song that's maybe vulnerable, and people know that, oh well, he's been through that too. Maybe I hope they know that, because I'm just a normal dude from Georgia that gets to do what I love, and I've been through, you think back, I've been through some stuff over the past 10 or 12 years as well, like a lot of good stuff, but a lot of things that, I'll never get through, and to be able to sing about it and to know people, have them share their stories, they've helped me. I mean, that's what really helps when people are going through something, knowing that there's somebody out there that's been through it too. And I think that if I can write about that and be able to share that, but there are times when, the song I put out, I'd never really touched that category, but 3 Feet Tall, I think was something that was a little too clean. I lived it as a kid. I mean, I know there's a lot of people going through it, but that was one that was almost like so good that it's like, I don't know if I can hear that again, but I love the song, and I'm very appreciative of it.
We know Trey, he sat down and played that. He played that for us once, like just the three of us sitting in a room, and I was trying not to weep in front of him.
I know, man.
He was like, I think you hadn't put it out yet, and he's like, I think you're going to like this one. And I was expecting fun, and then I was like, oh yeah, Trey, stop.
It's a little different, but that just shows he can do it all. But I love Trey, and that song really did. That was a big part of just getting me to this next album as well. Just I wanted to put out something that, like that tells my story. And that one, even though we didn't put that on this album, it was a big part of getting us from last album to this one.
Oh. Now, speaking of guys that write songs that that are having some moments and have had moments, Graylin James.
Oh, man.
Man, is a boy. We love him too. We're friends. Is having a moment right now. Yep. That Water at a Wedding song, again, as close to the bone as you can get, I think.
Yeah. I didn't even, I'd kind of heard it in passing or whatever, and my buddy, we were playing golf the other day, is like, does he say that at the end? I'm like, nah, I don't think so. And I was just listening to it. I was like, he does say that. All right.
How did you meet Graylin? Was it a song you sent?
Yeah, we were in the writing room. I think we had written a couple things, and I'd heard some songs he had written, and I just dug his voice, his style, just everything about it. And I got in a room with him, and I don't know, he was singing as he was writing, and I think he says this too. I think I'm one of the first people who was like, dude, you ought to chase the artist thing. You really do have a cool voice, and just it's all about how you deliver it, and I think he's just got something different. The vibe is cool, and he's obviously such a talented writer, and he's one of the newer guys that I definitely believe in. I'm happy he's coming back on the road with me this fall, and just I don't know, people like that came up writing songs and are right there where I was just a few years ago. It feels like it's cool to see it, and I'm just happy for him.
We're almost at the end here, Cole Swindell. You mentioned your tour. You got Graylin. Who are our other two? Is it Logan Crosby and Priscilla?
Yeah, Priscilla Block. She is amazing. I've kind of gotten a chance to get to know her over the past few months, and always been a fan of her music and love just everything about her. But to get to know her and just how cool she is, and just down to earth, just real. As you were talking about, she's as real as it gets. So excited to have her out, and Happy Hour Sad tour this fall. So come see us, and I hope if y'all make it out, y'all come see us, man. I'm excited to be talking to you right now. I see your stuff all the time on the
Oh my gosh, I'm always getting nervous because when I talk about somebody a lot, I'm like, they've seen me sit next to their photo and been like, oh no.
About somebody else, so I'm good.
Well, can I ask you about a Cole Swindell viral moment real quick?
Okay.
2 years ago, when you cut this first batch of songs, is that when we all saw that photo that said New Era with your hat off? In that photo,
batch of
songs. When you were that first batch, that was like 2023. Was that back when you were cutting this first? Started working on this.
I think we were doing a photo shoot maybe, but it wasn't. I don't know if that was for Spanish.
I've always wondered if that was like, if that was like how this was that the kickoff to this moment?
No, the album cover here was taken by Jordan Minton, who's a writer on the song. He's the one that asked me what that stuff was called hanging in the tree. He really asked that question, and I said what? Because I just assumed, being from South Georgia, everybody knows. I said Spanish moss. He's like, oh, that's right. And I told him this story about my dad, that one of my favorite memories about him, and he was like, oh my God, we got to write that. And we just liked the title Spanish Moss, so we didn't write the story about my dad. I told him, but we just wrote it about a long lost summer, and ended up being, that's why that song's kind of special. But that is a picture. I'm actually below that right there. I cropped me out. I'm walking off the course. Yeah, I'm walking off the course below that at sunset, and I cropped it. I said we ought to use this as the album cover just because Jordan took it. It's the whole reason we wrote the song, and that album cover says a lot. So yeah.
Last question. I want to talk about the last song on the album, Heads Up Heaven. We'll talk about a song that'll make you cry again.
Yeah.
This is a personal one for you, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's one of the first ones I probably did write for this album, honestly, because I lost my mom right around when the last album was coming out. So I knew when I had that title, I just thought of Chase McGill. I was like, man, I texted him one night sitting right up there in that seat, and I said, I got this idea, man. You know, obviously he knew I'd lost my mom, and said Heads Up Heaven. And I just wanted it to kind of be about somebody that special. You kind of wish you could just give them a heads up, and let them know who they're getting. And that song's very special. And I've always, every album, I've always tried to put a special song as the last one. I've never had this many songs, but it kind of starts with Kill a Prayer, talking about a mom praying for their kid, and ends with Heads Up Heaven. So I kind of did that on purpose as well, just kind of bookends the album for my mom. And Spanish Moss reminds me of Dad, so we got them both on this one.
And this is your fifth album.
Fifth album.
Yeah. Fifth album, 21 songs. So basically fifth and sixth album, if you really want to get into it at that point. Yeah. Cole Swindell, this has been a dream. This album is incredible, and it's a whole different side of Cole Swindell, but it's exactly, I think, still who you are.
Yeah, I think
nonetheless.
So. I didn't. I've grown up a little bit and got to sing a little, but I've been through some things and been right there where a lot of people are right now. So there's plenty of stuff, I think, for everybody on there.
Well, Cole Swindell, thank you so much. Have a great day,
Appreciate
brother.
you. Nice to meet you.
All right.